Okay, let's talk about tantrums meaning. And I'm not talking about the cute little meltdowns that people joke about online. I'm talking about understanding the real meaning behind child tantrums. The ones that come out of absolutely nowhere and they leave you standing there like, what just happened? Because one second your child seems totally fine, and the next second they're having a complete meltdown over something that seems so small. Okay, my youngest once had a complete meltdown because his banana broke. Not because he didn't want the banana, but because it broke in half. And I'm standing there thinking, is this real life right now? What does this tantrum actually mean? This is where so many of us mamas get stuck. And it's not because we don't care. It's because we care so much. You're running through like every option in your head. Do I comfort? Do I hold the boundary? Do I redirect them? Or do I ignore it so I don't reinforce it? And when you don't understand what the tantrum is actually communicating, every single response feels like a total guess. And that constant guessing is exhausting. It's discouraging. Ask me how I know. And real quick, if you're looking for parenting support that actually explains what's happening instead of just making you feel like you're doing something wrong, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe because you're in the right place here, mama. So here's the thing. In just a second, I'm going to show you how to spot a meltdown before it fully explodes. Because even though tantrums feel sudden, most of them actually give us warning signs long before they reach the breaking point. But first, we need to talk about why these meltdowns are happening in the first place. So here's what's really going on when it comes to understanding child behavior. When your child has a meltdown, it's really easy to consider it defiance or manipulation, right? Like they're trying to make your life harder. But the truth is, and this changed everything for me when I finally understood like the tantrums versus the meltdown, most behavior is actually just a signal. It's your child's way of communicating their emotional needs. So the three main core needs are safety, connection, and autonomy. And when you can spot which child emotional need is unmet, you stop reacting to just the behavior itself and you start addressing the actual root of what's going on. This is what positive parenting with tantrums actually look like. So think about it like this. If you're battling difficult behaviors, it's kind of like you're standing in a sinking boat and the boat's like filling with water and you're just scooping that water out with a pail, tossing it over the edge, okay? You never plug up the hole first. You're just constantly dealing with that water, constantly scooping and tossing without any real progress, right? So when we understand what the core need is that's missing, we can finally plug up the hole instead of managing the aftermath, which is exhausting and it doesn't work. So let me give you a real life example from my house. We used to have so many issues with my oldest one because he would always have these massive meltdowns every single time we had to transition from one activity to another. Like we'd be playing outside and I'd say, okay, let's go in for lunchtime. And to him, it was like the world was ending. So for the longest time, I thought, why is he so difficult? Why can't he just listen? But when I started looking at it through the lens of his core needs, I realized his autonomy need was not being met. He felt like he had zero control over his day. Everything was just happening to him. So instead of just demanding compliance, I started giving him tiny bits of age-appropriate choice. So, hey, buddy, we need to go inside in a few minutes. Do you want to go in now or after you go down the slide 2 more times? And y'all, the shift was almost instant. Not always perfect. We're not going for perfect here, though. Just so much calmer because I wasn't fighting the behavior anymore and dealing with the tantrum after the fact. I was meeting that need underneath it, right? So here's something really important about why kids have meltdowns. There's a difference between a tantrum and overwhelm, and knowing the difference changes how you respond. So a tantrum is when your child wants something and they're pushing for a specific outcome, like I want that toy or I don't want to leave the park. But overwhelm is when your child literally can't handle something. Their nervous system is flooded. They've left that problem-solving mode completely behind. They're not in that same part of their brain anymore, okay? This is the real meltdown meaning. Their brain is in fight or flight, and they need you to co-regulate with them, not correct them at that point. So that's when the OMG method comes in, and we're going to dive deep into that in the next video, but real quick, OMG stands for observe, make connection, and guide. So when you observe first, you can tell if this is a tantrum or if they're overwhelmed. Then you connect before you correct, and then you can guide them through it. So here's what I want you to remember, okay? When you decode the need behind the behavior, you stop reacting from a place of frustration or being triggered, really. And you start leading from a place of clarity. You become that calm, steady presence that your child can follow even in the hard moments. And that's the whole point, right? We're not trying to raise perfect kids. We're raising emotionally healthy humans who know how to process their big feelings. And in the next video, we're going to talk about yelling, specifically why it happens so fast, and the exact 5 steps that I use to stay calm instead of exploding. Because if you've ever felt like you go from 0 to yelling in 2.5 seconds, mama, I feel you. I've been there, and there's a way through it. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that one, and I'll see you in the next video.